Hello, hello.
Hello,
Happy
everyone.
Valentine's Day. I guess in advance.
Right. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. It is so nice to be sitting down with you here. And oh my God. Okay, so I have lots of flowers as well. I love
I got you some plastic flowers. Somebody gave me some plastic flowers.
Mike, this looks like a TV commercial. Well, this is, I mean, we've been friends for a long time, right? So sending you so much love with your flowers. That was so fun. I love that. Amazing.
I was writing a song. I was writing a song today, and a nice little love song that I thought I'd do today, but like it's not quite done yet, unfortunately. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it next week.
I mean, no, please come on, because you know what? I was noticing you had that guitar there, and I was like, is there a secret guitar? Like, you can't just
Oh,
you listen, Mike. You can't like show us something and then just take it away. That's like
it's
taking a
gone.
child into it's like taking a child into a sweet shop and then being like, not until next Saturday. So that's not okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
please, yeah, can you sing a little bit for us? Can you play a little bit for us?
I can try to do the first verse and chorus for you, but like I said, it's still in the working progress. But it's kind of themed on this podcast. So yeah.
I'm so sorry. This is my dog. One second. This is what happens on live. Give me a second and I'll be right back. I want to hear that song.
Are they trying to sing along?
Let's give it a minute while Buddha settles down. So Buddha obviously wants to be with us as well. So here we have Buddha the dog. I hope she'll settle down in a minute. It's just because someone is outside of the door, and I think she thinks she's a lot bigger than she is, and she's like, "I'm here. I'm protecting you, Josie. Don't you worry." But I think we can probably start now whenever you're ready. Now that you have two more people in the audience, Mike, we are very excited to hear your song.
Oh, they're lucky they get the music. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just get it out of the way so I can put the guitar down. Okay. I will do a verse and chorus for you. This is a new song, and it's gonna probably go on my acoustic album, which is the next one. But it might be hidden tracks, so you might have to find it.
Oh wow, I love that. There's a hidden track. How amazing. I love it. Okay, we're all
Yeah.
ears. Amazing.
It's called Starlight. Yeah. Anyway, here we go. She's a comet blazing through my sky. Every step she takes makes me want to fly. The nightfall bends beneath her gaze. In her light, my world will never be the same. Starlight glowing in the dark. Every beat she wakes my heart. In her glow, I find my way. She's the brightest star that won't ever fade. It's so raw. I'm not normally comfortable singing this early, but because I'm still working it out. Anyway, oh,
Don't
I'm
worry.
embarrassed.
Oh, come on. Don't worry. Listen, like, I love the song, and you're a human being. Sometimes a note goes a little higher, and then, like, who gives a shit? That's what a life is all about, right? I love it. And it's a really beautiful song. It's a nice tune. And
Thank you.
and by the way, also congratulations. Your album just dropped on the 8th, right? So just a few days ago.
It did. My album "We Are Stars" is out finally. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. We had a big show and everything, and I sang "If Only I Could Fly" in Golden Hour in front of thousands of people, and yeah, that was an amazing experience.
I love that. And the track "Stay." So the
Yeah.
song that's on your album, right? Stay. Okay, so that's now stuck in my head. It's actually, I love the song, but it's a little bit annoying because I keep, like, when you wake up and it's the first thing that's in your head, and I'm like, no. Like, I love that song, but it's so in my head now. So I was walking around and I was like, wow, it really got in there. Yeah, no, Right. I mean, that's what a song is supposed to be doing, but I just wanted to share that because I was like, I'm like singing away. Okay, well, anyway, for people that have just joined us, welcome, welcome. We are talking about love, and we're talking about what love actually is today. With the side note, are we addicted to pain? So
I
this
hope
is
not.
well, exactly. Well, we're not sitting here going, this is what love is, this is what it isn't. We are absolutely not claiming to know it all about love, far from. But we are going to have some hopefully fun, inspirational, maybe just weird conversations about how personally for us, for you, for me, for our own lives, how these relationships, what that's all about. So, Mike, do you want to start out? Oh, I love it. We've got someone here going, cute dog. Buddha, you're the hero here. Buddha is like, yes.
There they are. Oh, now that yeah. Now the image is moved and I can see a dog. It added the dog into your
There we
frame.
go. Yay. Anyway, Mike, tell us about start out. Let's start out with you. Because you know, this whole thing of like talking about love in relationships obviously was inspired by International Day of Love. Valentine's coming up, but also you personally messaged me the other day about, you know, quite intense experience you had with a friend. You don't have to go down into details, but share a little bit because it was quite you know, quite an intense experience, and it definitely inspired and provoked me to go, actually, let's have a live about this, and hopefully people can see themselves in this and not feel so alone in the weird and wonderful experiences of life.
Yeah. Okay. So I won't obviously name names or anything, but I'll tell you a little about a bit. I'll tell you the story. Okay.
Yes.
So a friend of mine recently broke up with her long-term boyfriend, and she's kind of been out on the hunt, or looking for a new partner. Um, and for some reason, she seems to be attracted to these people that are really obsessive and jealous. And I had this long talk with her about that. And I'm like, if you keep attracting the same people, there is something that you need to work on yourself, probably. I don't know, like if you're needing to find a relationship, needing to have somebody there, they're probably also going to replicate that some way in needing you around, or being very possessive of you. And that's basically what happened. Like I had this chat with her, we were having like lunch, and then all of a sudden this guy shows up that she told me that she broke up from, and he basically grabs her and drags her away, and I'm like, what the hell? And then she persuades him to come and sit in front of me, and he's like, I want to know what you have to do with her. I'm like, whoa, slow down, I'm a friend, like we've known each other for 8 years, chill out. And he basically was like, I'm leaving, I'm blocking you, whatever. And then I had this long conversation with her about, people like this you're better off without them. They're problems in your life, they're draining your energy and causing you a lot of stress. They're just, sucking your energy, and they're like energy vampires basically. And he told her like, I want to block you. And he left. And then she went and chased after him. I'm like, he gave her the opportunity to end this, to cut this clean, and she goes chasing after him. And I'm like, why? After this long conversation I had. But at the end of the day, that's her life, it's her decision. And, it's the lesson that she has to learn. And, I had this conversation with her again today, and she was asking me, like, why do I keep attracting these people? And I'm like, I know I told you this before, but you didn't listen. Anyway, this guy was somehow he it got my number and was leaving like threatening voicemails on my phone, so I had to block her for a while.
Wow.
Because I think we are in charge of our own energy, and recently, well, I don't know, over the last few years I've learned to be very precious about my energy. So if there's somebody like this that comes into your life and starts trying to like stress you out or suck your energy from you, just cut the cords, and say, look, you can't have any of my energy, I refuse. Stay away from me. And basically when you do that, there is some kind of energy wall that gets put up, and these people rarely bother you. At least in my experience, I found that. And like, I haven't heard from this guy again. But on her side, she keeps going into this pattern of like, I don't know if she's trying to fix these guys or what, but she keeps going back to this relationship cycle of guys that are possessive and needy. And I was telling her, listen, you're a great girl, you have so much talent and so much to give.
Oh, Mike, you just froze. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, you
Yes.
there? Okay, perfect. You just, sadly, I'm sure you gave some amazing last final line, and that just got like, I heard the focus on your own energy, and then I didn't hear the last end.
Focus on your own energy.
Mm.
Well, and you'll attract better things into your life, better people, better relationships.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, this is such a juicy thing, because I mean, we all have things we're supposed to learn in this lifetime, right? Regardless of belief systems. And you know, and this is such, not an obvious, but this is such a strong experience. So from the outside can feel so like so difficult to be a friend, and like you did the only thing you could do, which was, okay, I want to be a friend for you, but actually, if I stick around when you keep doing the same pattern, the only way I can actually be a good friend is by saying, I don't want to be part of this, because I can see you're hurting yourself. And as much as I can't go in and just tell you don't do it, you know, because you know, you can say that as a supportive friend, I would recommend you don't do this, but in the end of the day, it's her journey, like you said. So the only thing you are in charge of is leaving. And it was actually the kindest thing you could do. Because when you are in those relationships, and especially when you're empathic, it's so hard, because you're like, am I doing a good thing or a bad thing by hanging out here? Right. But when someone is like a, you know, when someone is standing on a sinking ship, you staying in that ship with them just means you're both gonna sink. Like, it does, like, then only one, you know, then you're both dying, right? You have to make those transitions. You have to kind of, you know, either give an ultimatum, and again, you couldn't be like, hey, do you want to be my friend? Of course you can't do that. But you really did the good thing of just going, this is an impossible situation, but the only thing I am in charge of, and the only thing I actually can do, and the only thing my job really is here, is to protect my own energy. Because like you said, if you are not looking after yourself, then also who are you to tell her to look after herself if you're not doing it yourself? So right, it's such, you know, relationships are such an interesting one. I wanna share a little story on my side about that. Not as deep as that, but on the lighter spectrum, we can also go very deep. But let's not do that now. Let's keep it light for now. We've got Buddha here after all. So Buddha is like, oh no. So, you know, so then there's also those relationships, again, could be friendships, like, you know, those relationships where you're like, someone is reaching out to you, and they essentially, you know, on one hand it's beautiful, because they obviously think, oh, you know, Josie, you're a great person, I want to spend time with you, I want to get to know you, whatever it is. But if you personally feel like, if I feel like, actually every time my phone beeps, I'm supposed to respond straight away, because otherwise I am not a good person, right? And especially when it's close friends of mine, it can feel so incredibly stressful. And again, that's the same thing, it's the same nuance. Like, and it's really sneaky, because then it's like, oh, but it's just they're messaging you, Josie, like, you know, just don't message back straight away. But I'm sure we can all relate to that thing where you're, you know, you're, whether you're writing your book or you're at work, like, or you're just running to something, you are actually preoccupied, and you're on a mission. You need to go from A to B, right? Or even maybe you're just sitting at home, but you want a whole hour just for you, right? That's your prerogative. It's your energy, it's your life. And then a text message pops up, right? And if it's from someone who is a friend of yours, or someone you're just getting to know, or someone who's a very dear loved one of yours, part of you, for most of us, I assume, will kind of feel like almost an obligation to go, oh, you know, hello. But actually, that's like the worst thing we can do sometimes, because then we are we're enabling a behavior where whenever these people gets in touch, we are immediately getting back to them. And if we are not getting back to them immediately, we may have, I definitely notice it within my own brain, this little thing of going, like part of my brain is like, oh, you're not a nice person if you don't go back to them straight away if you could. And I know, like, maybe you're like, oh, I totally don't do that. But I really have to stop myself, because otherwise I will just constantly give people everything they need at all times if I'm available. And that's actually not a good thing. Oh, you froze again. Can you hear me? Oh, Mike, you've completely frozen.
Yeah.
Oh, you're there. Okay, we're back again. Hooray! Yes, Buddha.
Hello.
Mike is back. Hello.
And
Yay.
hello,
Hello, everyone who's live with
everyone
us.
there.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Welcome.
Yay.
Valentine's Eve.
Valentine's Eve in China, Valentine's afternoon in London. Celebrating love and, all relationships all around, whatever state you're in, whatever you call yourself, whatever you're looking for. So what are your thoughts, Mike? How do you, this thing of like being constantly on, constantly available?
I think it is the natural tendency to be like that, to always being on and being available. But I have recently, I guess, been paying more attention to it and saying, no, I don't need to always be on. I don't always need to be available, and I don't always need to reply. To be honest, if something is meant for you, it'll find you and wait for you. So at least that's from my experience, So if you miss out on something, so what? I mean, it's not the end of the world. Sometimes you have to just put your phone away and detox yourself a little bit, or just take a breather. You can't be what you call under obligation to always be on call all the time to everybody, because it's draining.
100%. And I mean, that's also how I live my life. It's not like I constantly reply back, but I just wanted to share it because it's something that I think a lot of people don't even think about. They don't even think, oh, even if I am available, even if I have read that message, it is actually up to me whether or not I get back to that person. It doesn't make me a good person or a bad person. It makes me a person that is in charge of the only thing I actually ever am in charge of, which is my own energy and my own focus, my own concentration, where I place my awareness and attention. So
yeah, I mean, even sometimes it's better to take it in as well, and then reply, from a different, like a different place, instead of like this quick reaction thing, which is our tendency because the world is so rush. Sometimes it's good to meditate on the text, or I mean, it doesn't apply to everything, but on a lot of things. People ask you a question or something, is this right for me? Is this, is this the right job for me? Is this whatever? You can ask yourself these things, and sometimes a little breather or a little bit of space will give you clarity on that.
yeah, I love that. And I think, the same thing goes for everything else. It's an extension, right? How we do one thing in life is kind of how we do everything. And so similarly to when we're looking at our friendship groups, just because you've been friends with someone for a million years, if all of a sudden you're noticing that you feel drained when you talk to them, or you feel drained being around them, yes, of course, it's amazing you've been friends for all those years, but maybe you've changed and they've changed, and that's okay. So therefore, the way you hang out, or even the frequency of which you hang out, might also need to shift, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is a really important one, because that's another place where we can get stuck. I know sometimes, not mentioning people's names, but someone from my family can be like, they'll share something about people around them, and I'll say, well, you don't need to see them. Like, you don't actually have to see them. And they'll be like, oh, but we've known each other for 60 years. And so, it's like, it's that same thing. We choose our relationships. And, from an energetic perspective, there will only ever be one Michael, one Josie, and one if everyone else is watching here with us live, right? There will only ever be one of you. And no one else will know what it is like to be you. And that means, therefore, no one else can, and no one else should come into your life and tell you who you should be around, who you should respond to, and who you shouldn't, because only you know how it feels when you're with that person, or how it feels when you are spending time with that person, even just on the phone. And so you are the only one who's responsible, like you did with your friend, right? And I'm sure that wasn't easy to just go, hey, if you're going to continue down this road, I'm not going to follow. Like, that's not an easy thing to say, but it's the only thing that we actually have to say.
Yeah. And in her case, there were early red flags for her. Like this guy.
Mike, we broke up again. We're having a great live, and then there's these like epic moments where I'm just sitting here going, I wonder what he's saying.
Sorry.
That's all right. What did you say?
The internet.
I know.
The internet in China is a little bit here and there.
That's all right. Yeah. Can I?
So I was talking about my friend, and I was saying that there were some red flags straight away with these people, where they're like trying to find out where she is all the time, asking her what she's wearing, and why she's wearing that, and obviously, like this can be done in a flirtatious and playful way, but in their cases, it was like almost all the time checking up and then wanting to call and just sort of see what they're doing, who they're with, and all that. And I was like, don't you find that a little bit weird? And she's like, yeah. And then I'm like, then why are you doing it? And she's like, well, I don't know. Is that how it's normal for men to be? I'm like, no. I mean, seriously, I tried to help, but at the end of the day, it's her choice. But yeah, you need to look out for these red flags straight away in the beginning. I think I was telling her, what does your heart say? When you first meet a guy, ask him some questions about like what his dreams are, who he is, get to know a guy, a girl, whatever, like get to know who they are inside a little bit. Like, especially if you have problems dating these guys who are like super possessive or violent or whatever, you can get to know them and get your intuition to tell you a lot about them in the beginning. Some people, they just kind of go blindly into relationships, like not knowing. Obviously people do change and people don't show you everything about them, but your heart doesn't lie. Your heart will tell you these things in the beginning if you pay attention to them, but most of us, we don't. We just focus on what we want out of it.
It's so true. It's and getting caught up in the wishful thinking, the illusion, or again, I mean, there's a classic saying that as women tends to fall in love with the potential that they see. Men fall in love with what they actually see. And then the problem goes that then when you start to change, the man is like, hey, you're not the person I started dating. You've changed. And then when the man doesn't live up to the potential that the woman saw, and actually the mask kind of cracks and the woman's like, damn, he's not living up to the potential. And he's like, I was always me. You just didn't see it. You were in love with a story of who I was, right? Yeah. It's an ongoing journey. I also think there's something else, which is again a little on the deep end, but I guess that's what we're here for. I think that so often in life, without needing to know everyone's beginning in life, but so often whatever took place when you were a kid between you and what you saw in your parents, quite often we will do this thing. This will all be subconscious, by the way, right? Like we're not really aware of it. But because we still have a little inner child within us, there's a part of our inner child. So if we grew up in a very chaotic, very dramatic, perhaps even very toxic, very dangerous home environment, the little child within you will have this urgent need to try and solve the story. So then you grow up and you will chase, attract, and create similar scenarios, because then the inner child, which is only, is an aspect of yourself, an aspect of your mind, an aspect of your cells that is only like 5 years old or whatever. And this little child is so desperately wanting things to be okay. So they'll be, you'll be chasing all these very intense characters like your friend, right? Because where we're going, well, why would a woman She can look after herself. She's financially independent. She's got stuff going on. It's not like she's on the street. She doesn't need this person. Why would she do it to herself? But then when we look through the lens of psychology, a part of her inner child, is desperately trying to solve the mystery of what didn't work out in her own family story. So then she'll recreate the same story, the same setup. Now she'll be an adult, but her inner child is there going, if I make it work with this guy, then essentially mom and dad worked out. And me as a kid who has taken the whole story on mom and dad not working out upon their own shoulders, as if it's my fault that mom and dad are not working out. So then, like, the purpose of the soul of your friend, in the terms of psychology, would be like, oh, I've solved it. I've graduated, right? Anyway, deep stuff. Yeah. But here we are. But any thoughts on that?
I mean, it is a little bit stereotypical that her relationship with her dad was not good.
But no, it's not even the relationship with her dad. It's what she saw between the mom and the dad.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. But like, it comes down to where you're at as well. Like, I think if you're always looking for validation from somebody else, it's going to be a continuous cycle. You have to be okay and love yourself first at the end of the day. Otherwise, these people that you end up dating are all going to have the same issues. And then you're just, you're both going to be needing something from the other person that the other person isn't necessarily going to always give you. And then, they'll just be a disappointment to you. And then you'll end up breaking up. And it's a little bit sad, but it is also something that I see all the time.
Yeah, no, that is so true. It always comes back to the same thing, as in coming back into your own truth, your own heart, trying your best not to become an island. Not that you have to live in isolation and never see anyone, but you are right. Continuing to bring your awareness, your eyes back into your own self, and go, okay, well, how can I fulfill this aspect of myself that I feel like I'm missing? This aspect, and also, funnily enough, that's so attractive to everyone else. Like, the more you start to love yourself, the more you start to accept yourself, the more you start to go, oh, I actually quite like who I am. Everyone else goes, oh. And you know what happens? It's because the more, so Mike, for instance, with you, the more you like yourself, the more you don't need me to validate you. And that makes me feel really relaxed, because I'm like, oh, this is so good. I can hang out with Mike and I don't need to constantly like tell him he looks good, tell him his voice is nice, tell him all these things, because that's exhausting for me on the other side, right? So like the funniest thing, like you said, the more we practice, and there's so many different tools out there, we're not going to go into that today, but the more we even just become aware of aspects within ourselves where there's a part of us that is wanting validation from someone else, needing it, craving it, but then going, how can I be that for myself? How can I become that person that accepts that about myself, so I don't need someone else to accept it about me, that actually enjoys that? Even my quirky bits, even my parts of me where I'm like, okay, this is not the easiest part, but if I can make peace with those aspects of me, then I don't need 500 other people or even one person to do it, because I'm at peace with me, with that aspect. And like I said, just so weird how the more we like ourselves, the more everyone else is like, there's something nice over there. It's funny. Yes. So we've covered a little bit of, that little thing of like, are we addicted to pain? I think just to, like, for listeners that are people that are coming in here now.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. I can see everyone is having like 500 little messages down there. Guys, this is our first live ever, so if we're not responding to your sentences and your questions, like, please forgive us. This is our first one. It's difficult to like have a conversation and also check that my dog is okay. Someone was like, the dog is not safe, she's far away from the candle, but thank you for looking after Buddha. I love you. That's amazing. Going back to our title today, so this thing,
what's your dog's name? Wait.
Buddha.
Buddha,
literally Buddha. The Buddha. Right. And what's funny, Mike, is that she's not our dog. I know. So she's like some. Well, I'll tell you briefly the story, because again, this is about love, but love comes in all forms, right? And sometimes sometimes an amazing animal friend just pops into your life, and this is what happened to me. So when I met my now fiance, immediately he was like, "We should get a dog," and I was like, "That's a great idea, but let's just get to know each other first. Let's not, dog is a big responsibility." And
Uh-huh.
anyway, then I was like, then I got thinking, and I was like, because I love my fiance, but he's got very big dreams, and he's very much like, "We just do this," and I'm always like, one step at a time. So I was like, maybe we could trial having a dog. We could be like trial dog parents. And I didn't research more than that. That was just my intention. So there's a little about manifestation, right? I just had this intention that, that could be fun to do it as a trial. And then
Uh-huh.
one night I had this message in my head that said, "Go to Danish Facebook group." And I was like, this is so weird. I don't know if I'm even part of a Danish Facebook group. So anyway, I go into Danish Facebook group. And then on the first page, there's a photo of Buddha. Yeah, that's you, babe. There's a photo of Buddha. And then there's this big thing saying, "Do you want to look after me over Christmas?" And I was like, yes, we do. So we had 10 days with Buddha over Christmas, trialing being dog parents. And that was 2 years ago. And now we pretty much have her all the time. So yeah,
Oh, okay. So you've had Buddha for 2 years.
yeah. And
Wow. Okay.
so she still goes back and sees her family, but we are essentially her, extended family. Yeah.
Her god family.
Yeah,
God.
exactly. Right. So,
Godfathers.
love comes in many different shades and forms. And I guess it's just that thing of allowing yourself to be open to receiving love in whatever shape it presents itself. Yeah.
Yes.
I love that. Mike, let's go into, so what is love actually? So this is another one, right? I do a lot of energy work. I have a lot of coaching clients, and people are always like, "I want a relationship." And I'm like, "Great. What kind?" So what, because what we are hoping, to have if we decide to commit to a relationship or have an open relationship, whatever it is, we have to get quite clear about that. It can't just be, "Oh, I want love." And I'm like, well, what kind of love? Because as we heard about earlier in our life today, some love is very possessive. Some love is nearly like, "Don't ever leave my arms," right? And then there are other loves that are, we see each other once a week. There's much more space. So talking of what is love. So you can share personal stories. You can share stories of friends. Mike, where you at on the what is love actually? What does the love? What does it cover for you in terms of, let's make it personal in terms of relationships, so it's not just you and your love for acting and music.
Wow. Okay. I think love is somebody who I would say completes you, but like hopefully you're pretty complete already. But I think in general, just having somebody who is at your level and understands you and who you can be yourself with makes a huge difference in life. I feel makes you happier and you feel like you can do anything. I don't know. Like I've noticed the times when I felt maybe in love or whatever, just like everything has like rose tinted glasses, even if it doesn't necessarily, but everything just feels good in general. Um, love is just bliss. I don't know. It's happiness most of the time, but at the same time, willing to do anything for that person. I think you know to make that person happy. So it's not just about yourself. It's like it's a shared experience of wanting to make the other person feel good too, I guess.
That's very beautiful. It's very poetic. I feel like it was almost like a song. It was a song without your guitar in the background. um I think for me, I mean, love is, like you said, it's a state, right? Like, and like you said, it makes everything feel better, taste better, appear better, brighter, deeper. um and there's also this sense of everything is possible. Like when you're in a state of love, your heart literally expands, and when your heart feels is expanded, your mind is more acceptance of opportunities. Your mind is more accepting of, oh, this might just be possible. because you are not in a state of freeze or flight. You're no longer in emergency. Oh, all these things are not happening. You're not in a scarcity mindset, right? So love automatically, literally, boom, opens your heart. But then what happens after a while, because that's normally the initiation, you feel this like, boom, someone entered into my heart and now everything feels amazing. And then usually we have, like, after a while, and this depends on people and situations, but after a while, normally there's a steadiness that starts to appear, right? And what I would share is, for me, the love that I really love is when a person can accept a part of me that I'm working on accepting within myself. Does that make sense? Because it's quite deep, but for me that's been one of the biggest things. Because it's not easy, but when we meet new people, we present these amazing parts of ourselves, right? We're like, oh, have you seen? I'm great at this, and I do this, and have you noticed? And these are my good parts, and la 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 la. And then all of a sudden, you've shared like a good 50% of yourself, and then there are the other 50s, which is, well, what happens when you haven't slept for you had 2 hours of sleep last night, and something very intense is going on in your personal family, and so all of a sudden you're under under pressure is the other. And so then maybe you're not your brightest self, and you might say something, or maybe you show anger in a way the other person hasn't witnessed before. Somehow, other traits of you that you are not always sharing with everyone, especially not on Instagram or YouTube, right? When those starts coming out, because we're human and it's messy and it's raw and it's beautiful and it's difficult. When those sides starts coming out, and I'm not saying the demons come out, but when a more rounded whole photo of us starts to emerge, if the other person, that doesn't mean that the other person just allow themselves to be like all stepped over, but if the other person will still hold space for you and not just necessarily, try to like ping pong back something intense, if they can go, I know you're hurting. Like for me, that's literally like, for me, I'm like, whoa, this is so sexy. This is amazing. Wow. Like the fact, if the other person, because then it's really helpful for me. I know myself very well. I'm far from perfect, have lots of things I'm working on. But if that other person still wants to stick around and be with me on that journey, as well as the highs and all of the rest, for me, that's love.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen things like this, like in my siblings and their partnerships and stuff, where their partners or them, they were going through some really difficult times, but their partners really stuck it out for them, and were always like, dealing with the demons, but just understanding and being there for them, even though things got really tough, and I see that in them, and it makes me believe that there's hope, I guess. I haven't, I'd say, maybe had as many like long-term relationships, because I don't know, maybe it's because of my career, or maybe I've been more career focused, but my siblings have been married for a while and stuff, and um, any married couple will go through some patches and stuff, and they'll have those challenges where you start to question, is this the right thing for us, and but they've stuck it out and through the difficult times, and I this is where I can see love in other people, and it makes me feel to love myself, I guess.
No, I love that. Absolutely. And I also think, I mean, it's actually funny because obviously I've known you for so many years, and I'm pointing at you. It's beautiful. Like, I have it. I'm going to try and speak here. So me and Carl, we've been together now for nearly 3 years, and prior to that, my ex-partner, we were together for nearly 5 years. But those are the longest relationships I've ever had. Prior to that, I never really had any long relationships, and I also didn't want to. I think I was really, well, not think, I was super, super scared of, like, so scared because, the more you allow someone in, the more you can get hurt, right? And then, it also means that you're never fully yourself, really. not no reflection on you, Mike. I just want to share it. It's not like I've just gone from like one long-term relationship to the next. I far from did, far from. And it's still always a work in process, because we all are, right? Like no one has life figured out. Thank God for that. Then we would get very bored, I think, if we were just like, oh yeah, I'm living chapter number 45 and we are in the second paragraph. Everything is going to plan. Maybe that's the point. The point is just to fall in love with wherever you're at in that journey of your life. But I do think that thing of, for all of us to ask ourselves, why would I like another person in my life, on a more intimate level? And we don't all want it. Maybe you have the intimacy through a really good friend, again, an animal, an activity that you do. Like love comes in so many different shapes and forms. So there is absolutely no right or wrong way to be in that state of love for anyone, especially people listening. I think that's a really important thing. But it's important, I think, if you are looking for it, if you are out there going, oh, I would love a relationship, try and imagine how you want your everyday. Is it that you actually want someone to come home to and you just want to have a nice evening? That's kind of I like a good friend. Like I really like coming home and I'm like, we have a good chat. Like I like steady things, because my life is not steady at all. It's always like I'm everywhere and I'm traveling a lot, and just coming home and I'm like, there he is. That's so nice. I absolutely do not crave a love that is that is unpredictable. Like I like spontaneity, but I do not love at all anyone who's like, I'll see you and then they're not there, or like, this kind of type that could have been really cool when I was maybe 16. And no, that's not my kind of love anymore. But I think it's important that we all just ask ourselves, how do we actually want our everyday life? Do we want a partner that's there at the end of the phone and showing up when they say they're going to be there? Do we want someone who's more open with their emotions? Do we want someone who perhaps doesn't have so much emotion because we have so much emotion? Like try and just like daydream about it, because it's all up for the experience. Nothing is set in stone that this is how a relationship is.
Yeah. And going into another like subtopic of this,
Yeah.
going back to like manifestation and all that kind of stuff. Somebody gave me this idea before, like the ideal relationship you want. Write a list, write it out very clearly, exactly what you're looking for in the other person. But instead of just covering your side, go to their side. What would they want? This person that you want, what would they want from you? So that it's a 50-50 relationship, which good relationship should be. It should be a 50-50. I look at relationships a lot of times with this dial. If a relationship is going this way, well, this person is pulling away and this person is pushing, and vice versa. So it's the most stable relationships are like the 50-50 relationships, where things are nobody's pulling and nobody's pushing, or if you are, it's just a little bit. Because you have these relationships where somebody is like, always chasing, and then the other person is like, whoa, 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 whoa. Energy is like that in general. You have to balance it, because if you don't balance it, it's out of balance, and one person's pushing and then the other person's pulling. So it's important, I think, if you do make a list, to do it both sides. Visualize what the other person is doing it. Anyway, I did this list once, and they said, okay, put it under your pillow and forget about it. And I did. And somebody like this turned up in my life, almost exactly like my list. And but I forgot to put on there not married. So I got like everything on the list except for this one specific thing. And it was nice, but yeah, that marriage thing got in the way. But I've given this advice to a few other people who have actually manifested their ideal relationship through this method. So this is actually a pretty good method. Hello? Uh-oh. I think we've frozen out. Hello?
Yay! I hope we are back again. We somehow got disconnected. I'm hoping that Mike just will pop in again. I'll give it a few minutes, and if not, we will stop for today. But it's been so nice to be here with you all, and I hope you're all celebrating this International Day of Love. Let's see if Mike is gonna turn up. I am just gonna see if I can catch him on the other side. So let me just see here. So we'll give it another 2 minutes. Just send him a text and hopefully he is coming in now. I hope so. This whole Chinese experiment. So we are going live with me from London and Michael from China. And I think, oh, yay! We're back. Hey, Mike. You back with us? Hello? Mike, you've frozen, but I hope you're coming back in now. Hello? Yes.
Hello?
We're back now, right?
Can you hear me?
It's a little bit difficult. Could you go louder?
I think, I don't know, I haven't changed anything.
Strange. I mean, I can't hear you, but before you were so much louder. But anyway, I mean, we can continue. Just you can hear me, okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So weird. Okay, we'll just project. Could you do your good projection, please? Because we were at such a gorgeous place. So you were sharing that you had written this list of everything that you were looking for in a relationship, in a woman. You had also done the reverse of the list, right? What she might be looking for in you. And you had put the list underneath your pillow, forgotten all about it, and then this person came into your life. So share, please.
Yes, but I forgot to put not married. And so this was a slight problem.
Oh my God. Oh yes, attention to detail.
Yes, so if you do a list like this, be thorough, and yeah, you might want to, I guess, make sure you don't forget that one, because she was married, she had a kid, but she didn't tell me about it. I mean, not that I really mind somebody with a kid, but there was some secrets that she hadn't revealed to me, and but other friends have told me about her. So I was like, okay, well, this person is not being very honest with me, so it's not really going to work.
Wow. Yeah, no, I'm so sorry because it's like this, this whole thing, so often when people don't share certain things because they, sometimes they don't share, yes, to make sure they stay happy themselves, but also sometimes people don't share because they're scared of getting, rejected, abandoned, but also sometimes we don't share certain truths about ourselves because we're scared of hurting the other person, right? And yet, usually open communication is always the best thing. It's I mean, I couldn't imagine, imagine, I'm so sorry, so falling in love with someone that then was married and had a child, like how many more secrets could there be? Like I almost can't name anymore.
Yeah, there was a few, but I did give this suggestion to some other people to try, and it worked for them, but they also forgot things. So it's a little bit like it's a good method, but you have to be very thorough with when you do it. Otherwise, yeah, you could be in for some surprises, or you could just like go with the flow and see what happens.
There we go. And I also think it's that thing again, like actually, it is only through experience that we know what we truly want. And then once we've had that experience, again, it would have been a contrasting experience, a contrasting relationship. So then we're even clearer about what we want. And it's actually, that's the metaphor for our entire life.
Yeah,
we come to this planet and we have no way of truly knowing what we want. Go on.
It feels like, I don't know, like a lot of my relationships over the past several years have been some kind of like major lessons or activations in my life anyway, because like the breakups of them always started some big new thing in my life, some big new theme, so they were, I don't know, is it destiny? I don't know. They were like activators for certain things or something. Anyway, like since my mother passed away, uh, rest in peace, um, I've kind of, like I've noticed some patterns in relationships and breakups and stuff like that. And I've kind of decided, look, I'm not going to be looking for a relationship now. I'm just going to focus on myself and try to improve myself and fix these things so that when I do meet somebody, I will be more prepared and not sabotage it. So yeah, I don't know. I think recently I've just been kind of working on myself and leaving those kind of things for when it's time.
No, I love that. And I also love that thing of, because I mean, that's really the true power of manifestation, right? Becoming the person that is able to receive, recognize, and hold whatever you are attracting into your life. Because otherwise, again, we think we want all these things or these people or these experiences, but if it actually came to us right now, this version of you now, you, like you said, self-sabotage, you might actually reject it in order to self-protect, because your nervous system hasn't expanded enough to be able to go, oh yeah, this is me, I do belong here. So I really love that, of like, how can I'm going to work on myself, how can I become the version of me that is able to hold it, recognize it, accept it, and love it as this is part of me, this is part of my journey, we belong here. Not just we belong together, but we actually belong in this interaction, because otherwise it will always be an imbalanced, I really get what you're saying. I love that. Okay, Mike, is there any other things, because we could talk forever, but I'm also aware that we've done a really long first live. Go us, high five, well done.
Yeah. I don't know. We can leave it on a light note, I guess. Let's talk about Valentine's Day.
Yeah, no, I would love to. I don't know why I'm finding it so hard to hear you, because I haven't changed any settings, and I'm like turning the camera up as much as I possibly can. But you can hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. It's the same as before on my side.
Okay. Well, you know what? Maybe it's just that my battery's so low. I don't know. Yeah, okay. Let's talk a little bit about Valentine's. Any Valentine's plans? I know
For
you're
me,
single, but it could still
unfortunately,
be celebrating love, right?
no, I'm going to a film set tomorrow, so I'll be filming. I'm traveling during Valentine's Day tomorrow. Yeah.
Amazing.
So
What are you filming?
it's it's secret, but it's a movie.
Ooh, okay. Well, we look forward to watching it. And it's on my to-do list, by the way. I really want to watch the Kite, the movie that you sent across.
Yeah, you have to watch that.
I absolutely will. So yes, it was like this morning I was like, it's on the list. I look forward to watching it. Wonderful. I think
What about you,
that
though?
might be it for
You have
us.
to do
So
it to
what?
your side. Your side. What are your plans?
What are my plans? Oh, you know what's really funny actually? So bless Carl. So Carl was like, so we can go to this movie thing just in the afternoon tomorrow, right? And I was like, it was really, really sweet of him. Like Carl is really good as always, like thinking far ahead and making experiences. That's kind of his thing. He's like, we can have this experience, which is really beautiful. But I was like, oh, when you feel like you're doing something because it'll make the other person happy. And I was like, oh, that's not really the thing. I don't actually want to do this. And then later in the day, he was like, and then we can go to the sauna. And I was like, I actually just want to hang out with you. I don't really want to be anywhere out doing a thing with lots of other people that are also doing now we're celebrating love. I was like, I think I just want to be at home. We can get takeaway and watch a movie. That for me is like, because for me, Valentine's is about celebrating in a way that's right for you. And that's kind of it. So I would rather be home actually. So we're going to be home, and then we're doing like a non-Valentine's the day after Valentine's. So on the 15th, we are going to this like really cool place called Arc, which is
Uh-huh.
sauna and a cold plunge, and then you have music, and it's kind of like an experience where you do like a little bit of meditation. And yeah, I mean, it's my kind of thing, so I love it. You should do it when you come to London. We'll take you.
Okay, sounds good. It's a deal.
Amazing. Okay, Mike. Well, I think let's just so difficult to hear you this time for some reason. This second time we checked in the mic on my level. I think we should call it a day from here. But
Okay.
have the best weekend. Happy Love Day, and thank you for being here. And we'll do another Limitless soon.
Yeah. Take care, everyone. Have a great
Bye,
weekend.
everyone who joined us. Thank you so much for being here. Sending you so much love. Bye.
Yes, I wish you find the perfect partner or relationship for yourself. Thank you.
Oh my God,
Bye.
such a good point. Yes, absolutely. And if it's not happening just yet, it doesn't mean it's not happening ever. It just means that perhaps you just need a little more time to, prepare yourself, enjoy yourself. Lots of love.
Yeah. All right. Lots of love. Bye.
Bye.